What is a lot lizard? What are some tips for spotting them at truck stops? The OP who is female, by the way. First, never refer to human women in such vile terms and stop acting as if men are these perfect creations that would never do any wrong. Prostitution exists because men created it to attempt satiate their evil lusts to possess female bodies to do as they command. The women face all of the criminal charges, derision from the public and violence and loathing from men while said men are within their bodies chasing down their lust. Only a man would ever give such a vile name to the victims of the violence men force onto women. Yes, violence. That's what it is. Economic terrorism as well, because no job pays women fairly, much less a living wage. It's sad when a nation is so misogynistic and corrupt that women have to resort to selling their bodies to men in order to survive. America, home of the rapist, land of the perverts. I said it and I meant it. The only real reptiles in this are the men going from truck stop to truck stop abusing women. Don't get me started on all of serial killers among them either. Yes, men using women in this manner are abusive. The men using these women are abusive regardless of their claims to not be. The entire profession is based in abuse from men against women for their own sport and jollies. Did it ever occur to you why so many of these women are abusing drugs and alcohol? That alone ought to tell you the toll it takes on women, but y'all ignore that. If men were treated this way by women, prostitution would be a capital offense with immediate execution of every woman caught doing it. Your usage of vile terms exposes your misogyny, and you need to put in the work to unlearn it. Misogyny isn't just hatred of women. It's violent through and through, and it's a complete debasing of a woman's humanity. Do better. I drove a truck for a year in about 2010. They were everywhere, referring to those lot lizards. I went, even in rest stops on the highway. One came up to me and asked for money for gas she needed to get her baby home and was afraid of running out of gas. I am a nice person and was married. She was not unattractive, so I gave her $5 for gas. About 5 hours later, maybe 3 o'clock in the morning, she came back and said, "Want some company?" A standard line. I said no and she left. I thought I should have asked if she got the child home. This was at a rest stop on the highway. It was on the East Coast, maybe New Jersey or perhaps Maryland. 2 Eastern European women were being pimped at a truck stop. They were stunningly beautiful. Parked my truck and saw them going from truck to truck. Never did partake, nor was I interested. Had to stop since my driving time had expired. Driving north on Interstate 5 in California, there is a rest area just before the 580 split to San Francisco. I pulled in to use the facilities. When I came out, there was an older biker gal that was offering her services for mouth service. She said, "I can take out my dentures and bite down." I said no thanks. I wanted a bit more of a break, then asked what she was doing. She said her old man had dropped her off yesterday to make some money. She pulled out a rather large wad of cash. And since the rest area was in the middle of farm fields, I asked her what she was doing for food. She said, "I'm eating them high-protein meals." Then lastly, she said, "Anytime you want service, to leave your left turn indicator on." Okay, I made sure never ever to do that. When I first started, rest areas throughout the country took on the name pickle parks. One of the reasons was lot lizards. Michigan pickle parks were among the worst. I had been running with another driver for the better part of 2 days with minimal sleep. At the end of the second day, we pulled into one of those infamous pickle parks. We agreed to set our alarms to allow us 4 hours sleep before we hit it again for day 3. The idea was, with both of us setting our alarms for 4 hours, chances are one of us wouldn't oversleep and wake the other. I don't know how long I was out, but I had assumed it was for 4 hours when there came a knock on my door. I jumped out of the bunk, hopped into the driver's seat, rolled down the window, and with the sleep still in my eyes, enthusiastically yelled, Okay. I'm ready. Let's go. I had assumed it was the other driver knocking. It wasn't. It was a very shocked and surprised lot lizard. Here's the 100% truth about lot lizards. You don't see many of them around anymore. These days, the women who would normally engage in this activity are more likely to advertise their services online. Besides, most truckers these days are on relatively tight schedules and wouldn't have the time. A lot of the tropes you might hear about lot lizards, like most of what the public thinks about trucking, are holdovers from the 70s or 80s and one too many trucker movies. I'm not saying that lot lizards don't exist or that some misguided individuals don't use them. But this issue is nowhere nearly as widespread as people seem to think. In fact, the opposite is often the truth. Besides, the few lizards I have seen thus far tend to range somewhere between hideous and hell no. Been driving 25 plus years. I completely agree with the answer explained above. However, the most disgusting thing I have seen in my 25 plus years on the road is a story about a lot lizard. It was a rainy night, and I saw a gal knocking on doors. Eventually she was invited into a truck. The truck rocked and rolled for about 15-20 minutes. 3 minutes after, she hopped down from the truck, squatting down over a rain puddle, and she splashed the water up onto herself, wiped it with her hand, and knocked on the next truck. And he let her into his truck. That was the nastiest, most disgusting thing I've seen in my years on the road. Yup, I was at a truck stop that was in the middle of a prostitution sting. These two beautiful young ladies, dressed in very sexy outfits and wearing perfect makeup, approach my truck all friendly like, "Hi handsome, how's it going?" I motion for them to come over. They do. I whisper, "So, how long have you been cops?" Big look of surprise. How could you tell? Because real lot lizards don't look anything like you two, and everyone here knows it. Lock the doors of your rig, even while you are in it. Hang a bra in your window if you do not want to be bothered by lot lizards. Don't fool around with lot lizards if you do not want to take something home that bleach won't wash off. Wash your trucking clothes the night before you come home. Your wife/girlfriend will be grateful. Don't park badly. Get it in straight and spaced right. Don't get into someone else's fight in the lot. Mind your own business. Don't spend money that should go home at the truck stops. This means no games, no knickknacks, etc. Stuff is way too overpriced. Put a refrigerator in your rig, eat from it most of the time. It will save money. Do invest in an audiobook subscription. It will help pass the time driving, especially across Texas. Be a gentleman or a lady, and people will treat you the same way.